Hey, welcome to Tucker Thoughts. It's me, Tucker. Yep. Today we are going to be talking about those wonderful creatures that we call animals, of which we sort of are. Little side note, I know some people were disconcerted last episode to see the loss of Giuseppe, while others were overjoyed. I will have you know that this episode is being brought to you in part by the Gnome Equality Group, GEG. And yeah, so less hate on the gnomes. So anyways, here's the theme song. Tucker Thoughts, it's my show, but we're not gonna call it a show, but it's still my show. And this is me, Tucker Daily. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Brought to you by the Gnome Equality Group. No more hate. Repeated theme song that's honestly getting tired and should probably change quite soon. So yep, hey again. So the focus of this episode is going to be primarily animals, as stated earlier, and about which ones are aces and which ones kinda suck. So, anyways, animals. You know what animals I have very mixed feelings about? Honeybees. So they provide a very good service. They actually pollinate flowers. They make honey, and they do all that good stuff. Without them, the ecosystem would be not as what it was. And the great thing about honey is that it will never spoil. Like 100 years won't spoil. That's one of the great things about honey. I wish there were more foods like that. It'd make it so much easier to stockpile. I mean, I could just buy 316 boxes of Cheez-Its, and it wouldn't spoil in the 4 days it would last me. Or something like one bag of broccoli, and it wouldn't spoil in the 18 years that would last me. It would be great. Oh, bees, yep. But at the same time, bees are such jerks. They just fly in at you and they sting you on the neck. Evil bees. But there are some good animals too, like dogs. Who doesn't love a cute little doggo? I mean, all the great internet videos they star in and all the wonderful things they do. I just love me a dog. They're so fluffy, and then you can hold them and pet them. Beautiful creatures. They can also take them hunting while you shoot stuff. Bang, bang. And they're just a wonderful companion pet. Although I am allergic, which I'm sad about, but I love a dog. If I see a dog on the street, I'll say, "Hey person, may I pet your dog?" And if they say yes, I'll pet it. And it's like, allergies be darned. My nose is runny. Who cares? Not me. I get to pet that wonderful dog. Worth it every time. German shepherds. You never see them shepherding dog or like Germans, or even being shepherds for Germans. Germans, them in and of themselves, are not shepherding people now. I feel it's not like you just see a bunch of people eating sauerkraut being herded by a couple of German shepherds, although that'd be an awesome sight. And you also never just see them frolic around sheep. I feel like they would kill somebody, or a sheep, I guess. You see them always with the police, and oh my gosh. So, I was having a conversation with a friend about canine units a while ago, and they didn't know that the dogs actually attacked you. They thought they just barked you to scare you. Yeah, that was impressive. No, what a canine will do is it'll run at you and it'll bite you in the leg until you stop, until its partner, who's a person, walks up and cuffs you or does whatever. So that's what canines do. Another great use for them, although not good if you like home invasion and other unseemly activities. Elephants are a cool animal. Apparently they can ferment fruit in their trunk, so that's just unhealthy for them, but interesting trivia fact. Big, gray, the ivory trade makes me sad. I mean, it's not the stupid animals that they kill. Like if you killed some bees, that'd be fine for the ivory trade if their stingers were little bits of ivory. Just zap. I'd be okay with that. But it's just got to be the big old elephants. There's just something sad about seeing a big animal die. I couldn't have been a whaler back in the day. It's like, whale ho! Then you shoot it with a harpoon, and then, okay, all of my knowledge is from a video game in which you sometimes have to kill sharks and whales for resources. That game was Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Great game. Anyways, so it's just something sad about seeing like a whale or a shark die. At the same time, okay, sharks can die. I hate sharks. I've mentioned that before. I don't like them. They're creepy. Whales I'd feel sad about. One time, apparently, my grandpa was out on a fishing boat in the ocean, like a big one. but well, relative to boats and whales. And then he saw a killer whale like breaching on the water. So like water killer whale with the fin. Blue. So I don't know. That would just scare me witless. It's when you crank on the motor, you get your fishing poles, and you attack that whale if it comes at you. Even though you would just not do well in that fight, you would die. Anyways, elephants are a good thing. They got the big old floppy ears. They appear in such feature films as Dumbo. Excellent quality animal. Just thinking about the German Shepherd shepherding people again. Oh, you got some lederhosen, huh? Oh, yeah. That's not a German accent, but you'll understand. And then there's just a dog going, woof. Back in line, German. Woof. Yep, I imagine that's what a German Shepherd should be. Okay, so humans have done a lot of terrible crap to the environment. I mean, we kill a lot of forests and have eliminated a lot of species by accidentally, and some on purpose. But the thing that we have actually done that just put a warm fuzzy in your heart is pandas. So I would guess that some have been killed by people, but not a ton that I know of. Anyways, so pandas, they eat bamboo, as people know, but bamboo is not a good food for them. It's just what they eat. They don't get a ton of nutrients from it, which is why they're eating all the time. And part of the reason the population is so scarce is panda would rather eat than reproduce, which is just like a huge problem for a population we'd like to see skyrocket. You know what? If I was just looking outside and I saw a panda, I'd be pretty okay with that. I mean, they're a cute little animal, even though they're huge. They got that black and white fur. Yep, they're black, they're white, they're Asian, they're obese. That's like, I don't know, triple minority 4 if you count the last one. I don't know, you just gotta love the panda. Adorable. They're in so many popular culture things. Panda, 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 legacy, panda. Gibberish, gibberish. I don't know. Anyways, I do feel good about how we have kept them from all entirely dying. Then there's the red panda, which to me is just like a big old fox with some rings on it. And looks, or like a raccoon. Guardians too, and they're like, "You're a trash panda." Is that better? No, it's so much worse. The panda. One of the few species we've actually ever helped. And then once they get really down in population, we try to like help them. In which case, just like be better the rest of the time, or like do like what we do with cows. Just keep them. Cows, they're delicious and they do milk, but at the same time, it would be so weird to just see some wild cows. It's like back in the days before like farming when we were just like hunter gatherers. I just cannot picture people walking around and seeing a herd of cows just slowly moseying. They just don't seem survivable. They're slow. Bulls are strong and fast. Oh, maybe that's why. At the same time, if you just could find a woman cow, I'm trying to think what they're called. Because when I think cow woman, like lady cow, I just think Bessie. Although I'd be shocked if that was the name for it. Like you have hens for chickens and roosters. I might think of it later. I won't. Definitely won't. But anyways, it'd be so weird to just see a bunch of cows. Just kind of like you really don't see groups of animals anymore, which is sad. It'd be pretty entertaining to just be walking downtown, like, hey, I'm walking downtown, Jimmy, Giuseppe, do 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 do, and then just a wild herd of stallions has appeared. It'd be weird. Although you don't see them anymore. But a thing in sort of relatively recent history, a couple hundred years ago, because you always heard that the Native Americans used to herd bison and stuff off of cliffs. So I guess that's kind of like a bunch of wild cows, except bigger and furrier. And they found those couple of bison in Yosemite, I want to say, or maybe it was Yellowstone, and then they started to re-increase the population. People used to eat cow tongue. That's weird. So they would kill a bunch of cows and crap, and they just took the tongues and they just left the rest. And it's like, oh, so wasteful. People are idiots. At the same time, if you had a domesticated cow, I feel like it would stop doing anything good for you after you cut out its tongue. It's like, you want some milk? Nope. Nope. I'm going to stop that. Starve myself so you can't eat me. Mm-hmm. Take that. Except you can't say that anymore because you have a tongue going. You know, I feel like I haven't been on any big old tangents lately. Tangents, sine, cosine, math. I tried. I just really can't control this thing up here. The brain just goes where it wants. So today, was hearing about Kirk Cousins possibly signing with the Vikings. I'd be pretty happy about that because diehard Vikings fan, not diehard, but a fan for a long time. I only really started to care in more recent years, like when I got to be like a teenager. Before that, I was just kind of like football. Give me that Disney. Now Disney's just downhill. You miss all the good shows like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and Kim Possible. Kim Possible was a good show, animated. You don't have a ton of great animated shows anymore. Cartoon Network was where it was at for that kind of stuff. Nickelodeon, eh. I remember because at my grandparents' house, the channels were 35, 36, and 37. And it was just like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Disney. And then they switched and ruined it. Then I had to relearn all those channels. God, it was the worst. So the way that the cable picking used to work, because I have two sisters, is whoever got the remote first. But then when we walked in, my sister would always say hi, and I was like, move out of the way, and I would sprint and get the remote. Then they got all really mad at that because it's like, you know what? If you want the remote, just run for it, girl. And they always forgot, obviously. I don't know. I'm the superior human, obviously. And so then eventually what they developed was you'd get days of the month. So and it skip counted. So my oldest sister got the 1st, the 4th, the 7th. My second oldest sister got the 2nd, the 5th, the 8th. I got the 3rd, the 6th, the 9th, the 12th, the 15th, the 18th, the 21st, the 24th, the 27th, and the 30th. I feel shorted because I never got like the 31st. So I would say that the first one's probably the best. Although, yeah. And if there was a leap year, then my sister would get one extra day in February. I didn't. Whatever. Just very wounded. It's a sad thing. And then one time, my sister, so she broke her arm. I remember this vividly. I was watching a movie with my father, and then we get the call because my sister did gymnastics at the time. So it's like, hey, Allie broke her arm. La-di-da-di-da. Come down to the gymnastics studio and come get her. So we had to go. And I was not happy because we were watching a movie, and it was fun. It was just me and my dad. Then we had to go. So we went there, and then they were playing Pirates of the Caribbean on the TV when you walked in. There was a big old TV to the right. They're playing Pirates of the Caribbean. And I was like, I haven't seen this movie. It looks good. It was the part in... Oh, it's the third one. At World's End, where the ship was turning over. Ooh. They're turning back to the mainland, and then, comes back up. And we didn't get to stay for that. And I was just mad. And then the next week, we were at my grandma's, and it was my turn. And I'm like, gonna watch some Disney or whatever I want. Because they always were all about TLC. I can't stand that stuff. It's like, am I going to say yes to the dress? I feel like the cut's not really flattering to my body. It's like, well, then pick a different one. No one cares. Stop debating and quibble-quabbling. Cake Boss I have mixed feelings about because there's just a lot of baking. The cakes were interesting in and of themselves. As far as the baking show goes, good job. But I just can only watch so much of the same guy who I think was Italian just yelling at everybody around for screwing it up. It's like, flowers... These were supposed to be palm trees. Ah! Just gets really angry. Just like, calm down. You do this for a living. This happens at least twice every episode. You take off the flowers and you make them palm trees. Oh my goodness. Just calm down. I'm about to scream at that guy. Idiot. Calm down. You're running a very lucrative cake shop. Those cakes must have cost so much money, like straight up $1,000. And I would be so uncomfortable because when they show you delivering it most of the time, it's like, I don't want to be on TV for that. It's like, I have a cake. I would just order one for myself from there just to see if it was good cake. And then they'd bring it to my house. And I'd be like, oh yeah, it's for my daughter's wedding. They bring it to my house. There's no daughter here. Yep. I just wanted a cake. Because I feel like they like to be for those occasions. And then... it'd look really bad because clearly if I have enough money to order expensive cakes, I have put on some weight. So it's more like, yep, I would like a cake. Yep. Because I feel like they have a selection process, so you'd have to lie to get it because they only have so many man hours. I feel like they wouldn't be happy with that. Probably have to get payments for that cake like you do a car. Ah, phone, stop vibrating. It's probably something important, but I don't care. It's actually probably not something important. I don't have that much important stuff going on. Hence, YouTube show / podcast. Because it's not a show, but we're still going to call it a show. Because it's my show. Cake Boss. Then there was like those Little People, Big World. I think that's what it was called. It was about the midgets and then just stuff they did. And it's like, small people, large stairs. Great TV show idea. No, it's just midgets. I don't care. John and Kate plus 8 was the worst. And then once it was Kate plus 8, it just got way worse. It's like, John, can't split up the family. It's not a good show, but yeah. A lot of shows off TLC I feel like ended badly. John and Kate plus 8, divorce. Then there was the Duggart family and 19 Kids and Counting, where there were really like 20 kids, where one of the guys apparently did some very inappropriate, non-consenting things with some of his siblings. It's like, you just can't have that kind of scandal on TV, which is the problem with modern politics. It's become so much less about the issues than it has about making the other person look bad. So, especially with Trump, like, don't get me wrong, the guy does a lot of stupid stuff, but like, he's our president, and you should respect him. Every president does mistakes. Jimmy Carter tried to institute the metric system. Ha! Ha! No. Leave me as an imperial system. Any system that's based off of, I think, a barley oat is amazing. We just have so many random things that you wouldn't need. As opposed to the metric system where you just move tens around. I mean, that's boring. But here, 32 degrees is freezing, as opposed to 0. What kind of anarchy is that? No one cares. Yep. TLC's got some issues. I still think that TLC stands for the lady channel, because it seems like it's mostly beloved by women. I'm trying to think if there are any shows that would appeal to generally a male audience. Off the top of my head, no. They don't got any SpongeBob or Tom and Jerry or Kim Possible. There are a lot of old Disney shows that everyone forgets about, like Phil from the Future, My Life with Derek. I'm not saying they were great, but they're TV. I really wish I could find a good way to get the new sitcoms while they're still producing, like The Office and Friends. I don't know. Kevin's like an animal. I mean, he's a big guy. He's really nice, though. Kind of like a really lazy, giant, what is it? St. Bernard, like Beethoven. Kevin is Beethoven. Like, if you don't know the movies, like Beethoven's Big Break, and just Beethoven the dog. It's just a giant dog who gets into wacky hijinks. Kevin's like that. Why use many word when few word do trick? Kevin, what are you going to do with all this time? SeaWorld? See, what do you mean SeaWorld? Are you going to go to SeaWorld to see the world? You know, oceans, lakes, trees, fish. See, after all that, I still don't know if you're talking about going to SeaWorld or seeing the world. God, fine. I'll talk normal. It's like, poor Kevin, you wonderful animal. He's a good guy. Although, the actor could be the worst person ever soaked in scandal. And I wouldn't know, because I don't really care. Just entertain me. I don't care who you are as a person, as long as you're not, like, super illegal. Don't go Bill Cosby on us, Kevin. That'd be a sad thing to watch Kevin go to jail. You wouldn't make it. I don't think the Cos will either. But this, wouldn't it be really funny if he ended up working? This is spiraling a lot. So I'm just gonna end the video with a very minimal amount of. Sorry, I just saw the doorknob. With a very minimal amount of talk about animals. So, yep, this has been Tucker Thoughts. Like, comment, and subscribe. Like I mentioned, if I'm going to ask, triple threat. Thanks.